Very good first day. I got a lot accomplished. Felt like the tempo of the practice was just what we wanted. Anytime that you just put helmets on, it's an imperfect football teaching period of time, because there's a curriculum you can't teach, certainly the contact piece. And we did a good job avoiding it, but getting a lot accomplished in the throwing game, a lot accomplished in the those 2-minute and hurry ups that you just have to have attention to detail, really, off the field as you enter the field. And so I felt like today's practice was really, very good. Felt like the new coaches, just starting with offense, Tony Ball did a very nice job preparing his guys, and I think he's going to be a guy that starts with stance and really improves, the position, one step at a time, right on through. I just think he'll make us better. I think Kevin Steele did a very nice job, putting the defense in position to be ready for, hurry, and it just felt like the defense was really ready to play today. And of course, OED did a great job with that defensive line, and we're young there, but we're very talented, and it appeared to me that talent, starting to come to the front, and looking forward to, playing hard. And of course, it's just the first practice of 15 practices, and a lot to be accomplished and a lot to do. But for the first one, felt like a lot of enthusiasm. A lot of guys enjoyed. I think there's some juniors that stayed that really are looking forward to leading and really looking forward to having a great year, and kind of the view of leadership is something that they taken in there into account in this last year. So I really enjoyed today's practice. I don't know that I've been around a practice to start a spring as productive. So.
How much do you meet with your coaches? I know you practice to practice beforehand. Some turnover you got to have.
Yeah. You have to, kind of school them and let them know what the practice style is going to be, and these guys, they're veterans, and it's easy to bring them on and let them know kind of what we would expect and how we would operate. It's not that they haven't been to a practice before, a variety of tempos, and so they speak the language very well, and so there's some fundamentals that I need to have, offense, defense, and special teams for that matter, that at this point in time I feel pretty confident that we can get accomplished.
On the offensive line, you got 2 redshirt freshmen. That guy there was first team. What do you think of them?
I think I'm just going to talk about the guys that I'm looking at. I like KJ Malone. I think KJ Malone's going to be a starter at some place. Okay, I think he'll be a starter at left guard, or starter at right tackle, or starter at left tackle if needed. And but I think he's going to be a very good player for us. And then the other 2 guards, old Brumfield will be. It looks like to me that he's kind of getting ready to play and do the things that he needs to do. Will Clapp is really in the same position, ready to play. And so if you put Alexander at a tackle, and you put our boy Posick at center, you put Hawkins at left tackle, that's a pretty good fivesome, no matter who else you play. So looks pretty good to me. So and then I think these guys coming in will provide us with some real, not only depth, but guys that are talented enough to, put themselves in position to play.
When was the last time you had an O-line in
Well, I don't know that I'm really as deep as I want to be just yet. I think when these guys show up here, I think this freshman class, when they show up, I think I think the depth will be, much more consistent with the question. More. Right now I'm looking forward to getting them on campus. When that happens, I don't know. I'll have to answer that question then. But like right now, I think it's kind of wait for those cats to get here, but to determine how deep we really are.
I know like spring practice or whatever, fall practice is all kind of like an audition, but is this like truly an audition for Vidal, moving out the right tackle? And you mentioned guys, a lot of guys can play that position.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and he is very comfortable at a right tackle. He was a right tackle here as a sophomore, true freshman. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how his, the changes in his body, is the weight that he carries, how comfortable he'll be at the right tackle or a tackle position.
Les, did you get with Brandon and Anthony and talk about your goals for the spring, kind of what you want to see out of those two? And obviously
I did. I absolutely did. And we talked about the need and the want to throw the football better. And we need, not only the quarterbacks to come on, but the receiving core to come on. And, I think we're going to devote a lot of time to it. We're going to, throw the ball, in terms of snaps and percentages of our practices very significantly. And so it'll be fun. And I think we'll accomplish that. I also think that I think our two guys that we mentioned there are going to really compete. And I have to be honest with you, I like Justin McMillan. Justin McMillan can throw it. He's a very comfortable, quarterback prospect. And I just, for me not to mention him in the question is probably a mistake. So, but the two guys that will compete right away, it's obvious that they're much more veteran.
what is your goal there? Do you want to have one guy, or will you give it to the full?
No. I would give it to one guy very comfortably. If there's that guy that distances himself from the other in a very demonstrates the abilities to handle his business through the play call, through the style of offense, through what we do.
Les, have you made a decision on a base defense? Is that going to evolve, or just going to?
Yeah, we've talked about our base defense really kind of right away. So it's something certainly that you guys would have seen here before.
You say 4-3?
Yeah, I think you'll kind of look at kind of some of the things that we did back when we were with Bo Pelini and really John Chavis for that matter, and see that there's some carryover in both spots.
Les, do you like McMillan's mobility in his arm?
Whom?
What do you like about that, the freshman quarterback?
I like his arm. I like his. I just think he's a very comfortably built decision maker at quarterback. So it'll be. Obviously he's a true freshman, and you'd not like to just bring those guys along, but never say never.
Were Valentine and Corey Thompson, he was out there today, that's injury or other?
Yeah, Corey Thompson was out there today, but not played, and Valentine is at this point. Valentine's not a guy that we're counting on at this point.
For the season?
Yeah, for right now.
Coach, were you anxious to see Coach Steele's interaction with the players at practice and how that translates from the?
Yeah, it's an important piece that the coaches have a comfort of communications with the players, and I think both I think, you know, we added Chevis Jackson as a young coach there. DJ Johnson, Dennis Johnson was a player here as a defensive lineman, and I think both those guys as GAs will give us a really nice backdrop. And with Steele and Ed, I just think they're really. I think that, you know, with you put Bradley Dale in there with linebacking, and then you're really got a defensive staff that overlaps in responsibility and can communicate in a bunch of different levels. So I really like it.
Are Devin Voorhees and Michael Patterson linebackers?
Devin Voorhees, it appears, is a linebacker now. So who did you talk about, the other guy?
Michael Patterson.
I'm not ready to comment on that one just yet.
Who's with the linebackers?
Yeah, I'm not ready to call that one.
Is you giving Ed Harris first crack at that other corner spot?
He played a lot of snaps today, but, you know, I think there'll be a bunch of guys that you look at there. Certainly, Kevin Tolliver's a very talented guy that you have to develop, look at, and kind of make a decision on as you go.
What do you want to see from Brandon? And I know it's just one practice, but do you see maybe some maturity already?
Yeah. There's so much more comfort in the play call and the formation and what we're trying to get accomplished in both guys that you know, I think we're really going to focus on the execution of, you know, how to throw it, where to throw it, all those things.
Cameron talked about maybe he had done a poor job of communicating with those guys last year. Is that a conversation you and he have had? Has it become easier for him now?
I can't imagine that he's done a poor job communicating with those guys. I think he's a little bit overcritical, over analytical.
After the last two seasons, is there a message that you're trying to get across to the team? You know, the last two seasons haven't ended up like you used to, and you know, it's not to get back up in here.
Well, I think we're talking about championships and getting in the playoffs, and that's where we want to be. I think that message is received in this room kind of naturally because that's who we are and how we're built. And yeah, I think it's received very comfortably.
You talk about Clark and Bowers, which your hands right out of the gate there, stepping into larger ways.
Yeah, we're both guys had nice looks today, and we also looked at you know, some other guys in there. So Quay Bain jumped in there and looked pretty good, and so we kind of feel like that in spot's going to be well manned.
Does it change at all with what Kevin wants to do? I mean, you got
Some, absolutely.
You got some good tackles there. I mean, does it open up some things? Could you just maybe elaborate on the end position?
Well, you don't want to, you know, give too much information at this point, but it should draw a double team a little bit more, and it should create a more of a one-on-one matchup with both the nose tackle and the three technique. And now when you look at some of the guys that we can play in there, those guys get an opportunity to make some big time plays.
What is it about Poston?
Pardon?
What about Ethan Poston makes him a better fit right now at center for y'all than maybe some of the positions he's taking?
He's tall and long and strong, so all those things certainly fit in a bunch of different spots. But he's also one of the quicker, more explosive guys. And then when you look at a center, it's so imperative that that snap thing is not something that you just take for granted, and if a guy's a 10% better snapper than the other guy, for whoever the other guy is, that's a huge thing. I mean, imagine 10% of the snaps going awry, and you know they're going to go awry, as opposed to playing a guy that's probably a 99% really, really quality snapper. So here he is going to be a dominant player. He's going to be a dominant player wherever you play him, and he's also going to give you great, execution at the center spot. So hard for me to, not look at him there. I mean, he's going to play some other spots in the spring, but I just, in a long-term view, it'll help him a ton. He will have the ability to go and play guard. He'll have the ability to go and play tackle, and certainly play center at the next level.
I noticed Tony Upchurch looked like maybe he was with some H-backs.
Yeah, we put him at fullback, and I think he'll be a lot better there. He weighed 248 or 252 the last coaching workout that we did in the morning, and I just felt like his skills were better there, and he jumped in there and he compares very favorably there.
Is Fournette even bigger and stronger than the last time we've seen him?
He is he's 230 plus, and I think he's stronger and bigger. So we got to make sure that he doesn't lose that great speed too.
What do you want out of that? You got to manage that spot. How do you approach that? You kind of know what you got out of this team for sure.
You really, you have to manage the spot some, and but spring hopefully will be one thing, but you'll want to have a bunch of carries in the spring, but in the fall it'll be different.
When you described Tony Ball, it sounded a lot like Adam Henry, and there are a lot of similarities there, and it seems like both guys stress technique and that sort of thing first and foremost.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities there, but I think Tony's much more experienced and brings a long-term college pedigree with him. That I guess what I'm saying is that I think obviously Adam Henry's a very talented coach. He's now coaching in the NFL, but I think that Tony Ball is really kind of just what our guys needed.
Ed Orgeron's kind of making his presence known, was young, was getting on the tackling dummies. Is that what you expect from day one from him?
I would expect that he would be a fiery guy, So.
Last time the NCAA starts handing out punishment, you start maybe reviewing what they did and make sure your own house is in order?
Absolutely, yeah. We, I have a compliant house. I have a compliant atmosphere. If not every morning, but certainly once a week, if not twice a week, I routinely describe what we're running into. Like, for instance, we have unofficial visits on our campus, and we will have them throughout the spring. And how do you operate? And the things that we do, we have safeguards in place that allow us to monitor, any possible mishaps. And, it really kind of, we stay with the calendar, and, we describe official visits, we describe, all the, contacts in home, evaluations, and, as we go through the calendar, we describe all the pitfalls that would happen, and it really is a very interesting thing. It's not just it can get you, and you can be trying to do all the right things, and it can just get you.
Will you be lobbying hard to change that specific rule that kind of got you? Do you feel like you guys did anything wrong? Or
Yeah, I have to be very honest with you. We are, again, we look at the NC2A and we try to do exactly what it's supposed to be done, and we're imperfect. Okay, that being said, I don't know how I could have done it any differently. We signed a guy who committed to us to come to us, and then he decided, really in his home, that he was thinking about not taking the English course that was going to allow him to come early to LSU. At that point in time, we went back to our compliance officers, and they said, cease and desist, don't recruit him anymore. So we couldn't even call and or recruit the guy. And he went to another school, which is punishment enough. And anyways, I just, I didn't quite know how to handle it any differently than we did. The parallel is, they put a speed limit sign up, and so you went that speed limit, and then they took the speed limit sign down, put down a lesser one, and gave you a ticket for going by before. So again, I'm compliant. I believe in the NC2A. We're going to do the right things.
Coach.
Last question.
Coach, you and Coach Davis had such a great relationship, won a lot of games together. Are you disappointed by the way this has ended? And
I don't really know exactly what's going on. I've not kind of even kept up with it, to be very honest. So I certainly understand what happened, and it's unfortunate.